So, I'll call the meeting to order, May 11th, 2023. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, so before roll call, we have the swearing in of the newly elected trustees.
So normally we would have you do it, but Suzanne is gonna do it, so she's a trustee. She can legally swear in the new trustees.
And I can't do it myself, so.
Or we just. Yeah, if you guys just wanna stand, whoever's first, just stand up and at your place. I don't know if you can usually just repeat, and then you'll just need to sign it, so. All right, so Mark is first. Yeah. So just repeat after me. I, Mark Anthony Flores, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. Yeah.
Hi, Mark Anthony Flores. Well, wait, what?
Okay, I, Mark Anthony Flores,
Hi, Mark Anthony Flores.
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the rules,
the rules,
regulations, and ordinances of the Village of Morton Grove,
regulations, and ordinances of the Village of Morton Grove,
and that I will faithfully discharge all the duties of the office of the Morton Grove Library Trustee to
I will faithfully discharge all the duties of the office of
the Morton Grove
Morton
Public
Grove
Library Trustee
Public Library Trustee
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
And then just have him sign it, yeah. All right, Mohammed. It's my first time. Okay, Emily. I, Emily Masajek,
I, Emily Masajek,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
already forgot the first part.
Do
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the rules,
the rules,
regulations, and ordinances
regulations, and ordinances
of the Village of Morton Grove,
of the Village of Morton Grove,
and that I will faithfully discharge all the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge all the duties
of the office of Morton Grove Public Library Trustee
of the office of Morton Grove Public Library Trustee
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
And Joanne.
I liked Emily's pace.
Yeah.
We can do it much
You were the
faster.
guinea
No. I won't remember.
I, Joanne Pelletier, do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the rules,
the rules,
regulations, and ordinances
regulations, and ordinances
of the Village of Morton Grove,
of the Village of Morton Grove,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
all the duties of the office
all the duties of the office
of Morton Grove Public Library Trustee
of Morton Grove Public Library Trustee
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Great. Mohammed will get a perfect one. Mohammed will get a perfect one.
Good job.
Be ready.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Yes, thank you, Suzanne.
All right, we are officially sworn in, so now we can do roll call.
Flores,
Here.
Gonzalez,
Here.
Hussein, no, Jost,
Here.
Masajek,
Here.
Pelletier here, Luzon, here. Thank you.
Okay. Public comments, agenda items only, it's just us. So we're gonna go right to, building exterior maintenance renovation updates. Jason is here. Do you wanna take it away, Sam?
So you have in your packets the the bids as they came in, and then SMC's recommendation to award letters, so those are in your packets. The thing that I handed out, so
You should
you
have
have
you
that,
should have the budget,
and then you also should have the budget.
and then the recommendation to award, which also has like all the bid
all the good
tabs.
stuff. And then the thing I handed out were the bids and the recommendations from Midwest Environmental for the abatement of the lead paint and the asbestos. So, I didn't include those in your packets, my apology, but that is included in this budget, so,
Gotcha.
yeah. So I just thought you might wanna see those as well.
No,
So,
thank you for putting this up.
So I thought, I would have Jason just kind of give a brief overview of everything that's gonna happen. He's got some maps if you wanna see.
Yeah,
And
these are all
then-
the bid drawings that the bidders use that have cellulosation, how they're zoning stuff off as they work around the building. So again, thanks for having me in this beautiful day. So, hopefully it stays this way, right? So, yeah, I guess I'll just start by running through, just backing up. We had, real decent, real good participation. We had about 10 bids for each of the 3 packages that we publicly bid, which is great. We did sit down with each and every one of the contractors, the low contractors, to make sure they understood the scope, make sure they included what they were supposed to, make sure they didn't include what they were not supposed to. And fortunately, all of them checked out, that they understood the scope, and they're all contractors we have dealt with within the last couple of years that we have a high level of confidence in as well, for peace of mind. There was a one of the bids, and this is Mohammed's comment, was the painting bid was about 25% low, yeah. So, I had the same concern,
Mohammed
did as
asked
well,
why
so-
the one bid was so
One
much
page.
lower than the other.
So, what was kind of curious about it is the second low bid, which was, Nedro Painting, actually had they're allowed to write, before they turn in the bid, they have every opportunity until they seal that up to write their number. He had scratched out a number that was like 31,000 and put 50 in it. And what I've heard is he came up to to put into his bid and kind of got like gun shy and, I better adjust my number. So I did sit down with, talked extensively with the little bit painter about that. He's comfortable with everything. He's visited the site, he understands everything, he understands that the abatement contractors scraping all the lead paint, stabilizing, he's literally going, anything that's, ephes or wood trim, he's putting a coat of paint on all that stuff. He understands the parameters of the, phasing diagram and stuff like that, so, I'm comfortable with them.
You have worked with them.
Oh, yeah. Actually, the low mason and the low, painting contractor, I work with both at Downers Grove when we did their kind of tuck pointing project about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. So, yeah, so I don't have any concerns or reservations that, you look at the numbers and you kind of get those concerns, but even talking to them, they understand it. He's got the appropriate amount of man hours. I felt's reasonable included. He's done a good job for us now, and,
I checked out the websites that they all have,
yeah,
and like Cosgrove and Nedrow, have, pretty impressive credentials going into that, and then, K&J didn't have, even a website.
no, I know he's out of Elburn. I know
Yeah.
they do a lot. I mean, he does a ton of public and private work, a lot of ours too, so. We deal with, he's one of our go-to painters as well. Oosterbahn, all those are good contractors. It's just, this is why we bid, right?
Right.
So.
Their bid is impressive, so
Yeah,
it's good for
so,
us.
yeah, and I know, the schedule, he throughout the bidding, he said, oh, it's a nice schedule, that's another thing to come out with summer work. We scheduled this for, his work will probably take place sometime in, September, stuff like that, so that's, maybe another reason they looked at it and said, oh, it does include both, there was 3 alternates. Alternate 1 was the replacement of the 3 additional windows off of Lincoln Avenue, so the 4x5 foot wide windows. And I'll go through each scope and just to kind of give you a general overview of what's gonna happen. And then the second alternate was to replace the Baxter room doors, so these doors right here, they're past their life expectancy, I would say, and the panic, so right now you have that DTEX push panel on there, that's gonna go away, you're gonna get just an alarm panic, kinda like you see everywhere else, that just has the key on there and it'll just make noise.
These were actually residential doors as well, is
Yeah.
what we've been told, and so we've retrofitted. So we'll get actual
Yeah, this'll
commercial grade doors.
be just a hollow metal door, hollow metal frame, this has got some wood trim on the outside and stuff like that, and I don't know what the core of this one is, but it's, it's definitely residential-ish, or kind of a hybrid, I guess, or very, very, very light commercial, so this will be a, kind of, to standardize it with everything else that you have throughout the building. So in the budget, I got the masonry restoration work, so that's for the masonry contractor Autobahn to go around the whole building, power wash, clean everything, and then spot tuck point and replace brick. So anywhere where there's loose, cracked, damaged mortar, so they spray the whole thing down, examine it, we review it, they give their recommendation, we say yes or no, or we should take care of this, and go around each elevation and do that. And then in addition to that, in addition to the brick replacement and tuck pointing, so any cracked brick, which is quite a bit around, will get cut out, new brick put in, pointed in and just rewashed. And then all the window caulking, door caulking, there's a couple control joints as well, so all that'll be routed out, clean up that joint, re-caulk everything around the building, so your whole envelope will be, I think it's 100% with as far as that's concerned there. Glazing is, the window replacement is the replacement of the courtyard bay window. The other bay window on the other side facing, yeah, and then the 4 windows on that Lincoln Avenue elevation, the big kind of picture window, and then the 3 other like 5x4 foot wide windows throughout there. So that'll go to like right now those are, the smaller windows have like a storefront on them and are like plate glassed. And then the other ones are, obviously, we found pictures that are like original to the building. And wood, and they're just not in the best of shape. So this will go to a more of a, it'll be an insulated unit, it'll be a storefront unit, so it'll be a little bit thicker in profile, but it'll just be it'll be more, it'll be a fully insulated unit where you won't touch it and transmit as much cold and warm as you go through. So, and then all those units will match, they'll be the same material throughout too. So it'll just be your normal 2-inch mullion with an insulated glass unit, and there'll be, as you go around the bay windows, it'll be, look at a turn. So, painting is anything that's basically wood or stucco, even the cupola up on the roof. Basically anything that's white out there will get painted, including the soffit. So that's just going around the building and getting everything painted. The abatement is more, there's, all that paint has lead-containing materials, so the abatement is excluded from the painting, but is included in this. So the next, the Baxter room doors is just the cost for the Baxter room doors, which I just got a cost from our hardware supplier, and then I just figured, or SMC carpenter, put them in. The second grouping is a bunch of allowance items, so the exterior trim, so anywhere where there's like some damaged wood as we go around the building, that's just an allowance, so all these allowances will be kind of just track time material, and anything that's left over will go back, obviously, to the library. So the first one's for some exterior trim replacement, and then the interior trim replacement is more just for the large openings and smaller openings that we're replacing. There's sills to put in. We'll probably redo all that molding, because the depth of the extension jam will change, and we'll just put white trim there to match the white windows, and go from there. There's some wire molding that needs to be reworked, that's below there. There's some convenience outlets at both of the bay windows that ought to get reworked. Shades, we just put an allowance for shades, so there's, because we're changing the geometry of
The shades that were there were custom, and so since the sizes will be different, we'll have to get new shades.
because you're bringing in that, you know,
Because it's changing.
yeah, the system is going from.
It's still gonna be bay though, or no?
It'll still be bay, but the system is gonna be like 4.5 inches right now. The thing is probably 2.5 inches or something.
Oh, okay.
So when you push that in,
Uh-huh,
it makes everything smaller.
right, right.
And those window shades, if you look, they're kind of very tight
They're very exact.
To-
as we-
to what they are. If we can reuse them, we'll
Yeah, I mean, we'll
obviously
see if we can. but-
do, but
Yeah, it doesn't sound like. we'll
I'm
be able to,
doubtful.
but, yeah.
You know, we'll see. You never, stranger things have happened.
That's true.
So, and that's why we put it as an allowance, so let's see what that is.
What's another 10,000? Come on.
And then the courtyard scaffold rental dismantle is to set a scaffold that'll serve a couple purposes. One, it'll kind of keep people out of that courtyard for the time being when we're doing the work for safety reasons. And then the asbestos contractor that's gonna be scraping and stabilizing and removing those windows will be able to use it. Our carpenters boarded it up will be able to use it. The glazer that'll be taking out the board up, putting under windows can use it. The painter that's got some paint can use it. So as opposed to having 4 contractors install a scaffold 4 times, just felt the efficiency lies in us doing that and just running that and just saying, yep, we're gonna put it there and kind of be done with that. So, but that's for the duration of the project.
Weather permitting?
Was that?
Weather permitting?
Oh, they'll set it there and it'll just stay there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scaffolding will stay up.
Yeah, it'll stay there. But yeah, weather permitting will depend on the schedule, but we're anticipating probably around a 2.5 month, depending on obviously weather.
Oh, okay.
So is kind of what we're looking at there. Any questions about any of the stuff I went over so far? And then the next thing is the abatement. So like I said, all the paint is painted with lead base, so that's for the contractor to scrape off the paint. Obviously collect up all the chips and stuff that come up so people are not exposed to them essentially, and then stabilizing that, and then we'll come in and paint after that to further stabilize and encapsulate that. And then there is some asbestos caulk. Like there's a couple doors downstairs that the caulk they used in 50s, 70s, whenever it was, had asbestos. These doors are some of them. There's some other openings throughout.
With the windows, right, isn't there some?
Couple windows, the doors going out the lower level are, I know a couple of the ones that were hot, these 2 doors, and then there was a couple of various windows, around that had them, so, and then the rest we'll take care of if it's not. So we've sampled everything though, so just to make sure we're doing it right.
The big cost with that really is the lead-based paint, right, because of because it's everywhere and the way they have to do it, so.
And the permit, you gotta get Cook County, we're in Cook County, so you gotta have a Cook County permit, and they have some, Midwest has, got some supervision there to make sure they comply with the documents, they file the proper paperwork, they get their proper clearances, and, all that fun stuff when you mention the L and
And
A
Midwest
word.
is who when we've done the other asbestos abatement.
Midwest was the one,
Yep.
yeah, okay,
Yeah, they oversee that there. They've got this.
okay.
So we have a 10% construction contingency, that's just based on the hard cost alone. Obviously, we don't use any of that, that goes back to the library. And then the rest, some general requirements, we had some investors doing the board up, porta potty, stuff like that is what that kind of accounts for. Cause essentially, we're gonna put up board up, they're gonna take the window out, and then we gotta remodify it, keep it
So the
weathertight.
windows will come out first, pretty early in
Pretty
the
early,
process, and they
yeah.
will be boarded up.
Yeah, and
So-
that's also putting a temporary wall on the inside, just to kind of reduce the amount of dust, put carpet protection, you know, in front of the areas we're working, so we're not, you know, doing any more wear to the carpet than, up there. And then just the SMC pre-construction for a public bid, SMC supervision, which is me for every day being on site, making sure what's going on. I won't be here for the whole time, cause this doesn't warrant that, like the supervision we had for the lower level was a little bit more intrusive and required, plus it was a bigger project. So this is coming in and, you know, making sure these, you know, who's here is supposed to be here, making sure they're on schedule, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. Making sure everything's being communicated with the library as far as closures, what entries are being closed and stuff like that. And just SMC over profit, which is just a straight multiplier. So, yeah, that's kinda, where we're at with the budget. There was, the third alternate was for, which came in about $30,000, which was, maybe I can show you out here a bit better. So that front stoop along, Lincoln Avenue has a lot of cracks, so this is basically half the alternate was to repair the cracks, and the other half was to, when you walk off that stoop, you kinda go down like 2 steps, and then you go, your last step, you step on the sidewalk, and you almost gotta like walk up. So, yeah, so it kinda pitches to the building, so this was to take out the last step, take a couple concrete squares out, and then kinda blend that in with new concrete. So, and then we'd have to do like a T-section essentially, so to bust all that up, re-pour that, and then we can fix that grading issue, that sinking that was there. Which I did get some updated pricing, so we're still hopeful. I'm gonna see what we can do, see if we're sitting with contingency and stuff like that, but that's still something we could also pursue if, we wanted to use a little bit of the contingency. I think the breakout cost I got from the contractor was 12 grand. He got a sub number from that. After the bids, he got us another number. He got a second number, which came in 2 grand more, so he was willing to extend that savings to us, so, which I thought was.
So we'll just have to wait to see how everything else comes out.
Yeah, I figured let's get them going, and at least get them most of the way tuck pointed, maybe half the building, and then we can pull the trigger on that. You know, that's kinda what my thought was. Just cause I don't wanna start
Yep.
spending, we
Yep.
might need it, so I wanna get a good feel for everything that's going on, get through the majority of it, and go from there.
So
Thank you for
I
the explanation.
also wanted to say that we did get, if you remember, a significantly larger personal property replacement tax check this year, and I think it will stay higher it sounds like it will stay higher actually from now on. But because that did come in probably about $120,000 more than we normally get, I did think that it made a lot of sense to put those extra funds towards doing some of this exterior work when it made sense to do these things together. So this is a little bit more than I know that we've talked about spending, but we do have those extra funds that we didn't know we were gonna have, so. And as we've talked before, and Jason and I have talked a lot about this, is like doing things together that make the most sense, that save us money over time, that we're not having to go back and redo things, so. So like I said, I made some decisions to kind of use that money towards keeping up the building. Is that okay?
Yeah.
That's fine.
No, no,
That's
no,
great,
yeah.
looking ahead, good job.
That makes sense, yes.
It was a nice windfall and knowing
Yeah.
that we have, multiple years of building maintenance things that we need to address. I
Yeah,
thought it
'cause
made
and then we
sense.
kinda, just in case the bids came in a little bit awry or, a little higher than expected or something, we kinda did like we did with the lower level renovations, we broke out into some alternates where, hey, we can,
Yeah.
bids come in good, we can.
Do some other
Yeah,
things.
so we were able to, we came in a little bit under budget with, every bid, which is good, and,
Mhm.
we're able to do 2 out of
One
the 3,
big
which
mess.
ain't too bad.
Pardon?
One big mess.
Yeah, it's always something. Next year, I think I'll be the elevator. We'll see.
That's okay.
Yeah. Any questions? All right, I'm gonna make a motion to approve the, extra renovation budget in the amount of $389,071.
Second.
Yeah. Gonzalez?
Yes.
Jost?
Mason,
Yes.
Pelletier, yes. Kuzo,
Yes.
Flores.
Yes.
Okay. Next I'll make a motion to approve the recommendations to award bids for
Second.
the companies listed, or do you want me to list the companies?
I would just go amount of, like you did with the budget.
Yeah, in this amount.
In the amount of, $161,720. Thank you.
Second.
Second that, Mark.
Thank you.
Second, and then just sign.
Yeah. But I'll send you this.
And then I'll sign this. Just to, so we're covering all our bases, I would also recommend that you officially accept the Midwest, mechanical, or Midwest environmental, this one.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's okay if it's not on the agenda to make.
Yeah, because you approved it as part of the budget, because it's already included as a budget, but just so that I can sign it.
So is that on the first page, the base quote?
I would just say,
I think the only thing that's on there is these 2 amounts.
right,
It's for the bidder.
Okay, we'll vote on that, Jost.
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Pelletier, yes. Kuzo,
Yes.
Flores,
Yes.
Gonzalez.
yeah,
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That one?
the 38,000. Right, and then their oversight is 13. Yeah, which is on this.
It's not as clean as ours.
Yeah, theirs is unpaid, this is their amount to oversee the abatement,
Okay.
and
for
then the
and
37
pulling the permit.
is the company that
Do you want me
they're,
to say both amounts then?
how to,
Say it to me.
No, yeah, okay, feed me the words, no. So I'll make a motion to approve, Midwest Environmental Consulting Services, quote, recommendation, base, to use Midway Contracting Group LLC in the amount of $38,700. And, wait, sorry, I know, a lot of words.
Midway Contracting Group in 38,700.
Mm-hmm. And then,
their management of Midwest management.
And then Midwest Environmental Management cost in the amount of $13,545. How many? What was that last number? $13,545.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's good. Sorry. Oh, thank you.
Okay, Mason,
Yes.
Pelletier, yes. Kuzo,
Yes.
Flores,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Jost. Thank you.
Okay, great. Does anyone want to see any of the maps or anything before Jason leaves and takes them with him?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you wanna see? I got the painting, I got the restoration, I got
The windows, I think, is the.
No.
Yeah, the windows I don't have the pictures of quite yet, I just have them highlighted what they're gonna be. So it's really just it's really just a spec of what it is, so it's, generally speaking, the windows will have like, this green will actually be white. As you go across there, there'll be no horizontal, it'll just be vertical.
That's what I did on
It looks nice, right? Yeah, we copied it. And then, same thing here for this window unit. We'll just kind of match that existing spacing that we had, equal spaces. And then we'll have an opportunity too, as we're going through this, they gotta produce, as part of their contract, they gotta produce a set of shop drawings, so we'll have kind of a one last look at it in case we wanna make some minor
Cosmetic
adjustments
changes.
here and there. And then that window will.
Is this any kind of special glass like this, so you can't see into the building, you know, how you have like privacy, like, and sun
No,
control?
this is just 1 inch insulated low E glass, so it doesn't have a film or a mirror on it.
Just curious.
Which we
Yeah.
don't, I wouldn't want that really, because I mean, I think especially in the evenings, it's nice to be able to look into the library and see activity and see that, you know, this is the library, that
Well,
kind of thing,
and then
so.
your shades typically provide that sort of
Right, if we're gonna-
privacy.
Well, I was thinking more in terms of energy.
Oh, these are, like I said, it's low E, so it takes a lot of the, you know, there's a certain gas in there that'll just kind of, when it reflects through it, you don't get that like direct heat off of it as much. You know, it's obviously still warmer than,
But it will definitely
it's
be
better than
an
what's,
improvement. of
yeah.
what you
Because
have.
basically what you got there will be, you'll have 2 layers of that plus an interstitial glass between, so. And then that window will get replaced, it'll just be, you know, one open, which I show there. And then the last one is the repeated array with my scaffold away. So, not the prettiest thing, it's just, that's my,
And then everyone will see them if you
Yeah.
want to see it, so, yeah.
Should we pass it around?
yeah, they will, yeah. And the other ones are, you know, painting, showing what gets painted and what doesn't. All the shutters will come off, because didn't really feel it was important to spend money.
Come
on
off and
those.
stay
Since we're-
off?
For now,
For now.
because they're in such bad shape
Oh.
that it would be really difficult
Yeah.
to repair them, so we
Well, we'd
can
be
decide once
spending-
they're removed and see if the board feels like they want to spend money to get something, you know, to get new shutters, then we
Right.
would have to budget for that, but.
We figured it was a good time to do it, since we have a mason out here to,
Right.
you know, fix whatever's
We're
behind
not sure
there.
what's behind
Right,
there.
that, it's fine, I
And
mean,
they
you
can
want
clean
to,
up, you know, a
making
little bit
it
of-
look new, more
Yeah.
modern, and,
Yeah.
you know,
It might, well, maybe you could put something that's, maybe not wood, it's, you know,
I mean, I
More
was,
maintenance
I was
free.
going through some old
Right.
pictures of the library, and so there was some shots of when this section was first built, and so there was a lot of shots of the building without the shutters, and it looked okay.
right,
Actually,
down
so-
in the 50s,
Yeah. Or the seventies or whatever it was.
or was
but-
70s, I should.
But we
make
can
that
see
part.
what everything looks like afterwards, but
Right,
yeah,
right.
they're in
That's-
such bad shape right now,
It's
so,
like putting lipstick on.
yeah.
well, some of them have like rotten wood, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, do we
Yeah.
really wanna spend money, and, you know, it didn't seem.
What was this we were talking about, the,
Yeah, that's actually, I'll show you that square. That's taken out. So right now you step and you step, and it kind of pitches down.
Yep.
So this would be getting rid of that step, and just, in order to level it out so it, you know, meets any requirements, we would take it out to here, replace all this, and then we obviously have to replace this piece to get that, readjust that concrete to properly align with it. And then the rest was kind of patching up all this concrete and stuff like that. I think this seemed to be the priority, remembering our discussions.
The
correctly.
step,
Yeah,
yeah, cause the problem is, and, in the winter, particularly, like, it will melt and freeze and slippery, and it's a constant, you know, Ed's always out there trying to, you know, make sure that it's a safety issue and stuff, so.
That's
Yeah, so if we can, we would, you know, we hope to be able to do it, but we'll,
Well, no, yeah, I mean, basically putting salt here and tracking it through
Right.
there is not helping this concrete, cause,
Yeah.
and as I'm sure you guys have seen, there's been some patching that was done not very well
Right.
in there. It just, you know, some of it's just the way that it looks
It's
as
a-
well.
yeah,
We want,
yeah.
you know, we want the building to be kept up
Yeah.
nicely and appropriately and,
And
you know, to
safety.
make it last and
Yeah.
for safety purposes, yeah.
and while we're under construction, doing all this disturbing stuff, just
Right, right.
do as much as we can.
There's a lot more painting than you realize.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot.
You're telling me I had to highlight each one of them.
Last page, I'm done.
What's going on with this thing here? What is?
What's this pipe?
Yeah, the pipe and the tiles.
So the gutter used to come down here, you can see where the old gutter
Oh,
mark
yeah.
was, and this was again, it goes down to the city sewer, I think this is blocked. So when we did the gutters last fall, we moved the gutter and removed the downspout over here. So it's totally out of this area. What was happening too, we were adding more water, and as opposed to just the surface water, you're getting all the water from the roof coming down.
So
and
if we redo it, this section and do the T, can this be,
You can make that into landscaping or something, and
Yeah,
get
because
rid of this hardscape here.
that's like an eyesore.
Yeah,
If you
I
Fix
would,
this and leave that.
yeah, I would put a better cap on this and maybe
Yeah.
just bring this mulch and planting beds over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to be a landscape architect or nothing, but. So. And then this is kind of the areas where we're, kind of going around the building, in kind of zones. So like for the heavier work, like the masonry, where he's gonna have, I mean, they're both of them have lifts, but the masonry's gonna take a little bit longer, cause he's gotta have a power washer out there, a grinder, a vacuum, you know, cutting up stuff, so, there'll be like a chain link fence around there. When the painter gets there, it'll probably just be reduced down to, like those roofing flags with stanchions, just to keep people out of that area. And then at the end of the day, so the orange line is where it'll be set up when they're working from 7 to, 3:30. And then the orange dashed is like where they'll stage that at night. So every day they move it out, move it in, so.
Are we gonna lose parking?
You'll lose a little bit of spaces over, and I can move a little bit of space over there where the donation,
So
There
where
he
the,
is.
remember where they had the, when they were doing the roof and they had the fencing blocked off over in the St. Martha's?
Uh-huh.
So we'll lose that, that's over by those paper donation things from St.
Right.
Martha's, so that's where they'll be staging things again. And then, there will be a dumpster kind of in a similar place to when we had the, lower level
And St.
renovation.
Martha's is okay with that?
Yeah, they've
Oh,
been, yeah, I
good.
mean, they were.
Pay 'em
okay
enough.
this time. Yeah, we pay them enough. I feel like we should own it by this point.
so.
So the project starts and ends.
Right now, we're looking at probably, for the abatement, it's gonna start, and I'm guessing at their duration, so I'm assuming that they're gonna start like beginning of August, I'm guessing 2 to 3 weeks for them. And then we have, with the masonry touch point, we probably got right around 4 weeks, if, it stays nice, see how things go. Pending weather, obviously, and then probably another 3 to 4 weeks between the painting and then the window replacement, which those can happen simultaneously, which is the nice thing about that.
So nothing will start until after summer reading is over. And I will be putting an article in the newsletter just so people can expect it. There will be no time, if one entrance is closed, the other entrance will be open. So there will always be one entrance into the building, depending on what's going on. Jason's indicated to me that this work will be moving around the building, so, we'll do everything we can to notify people what's going on at any given time, but we also want them to move quickly, so if they're moving, that kind of thing, but, it is during the day, so, late afternoons and evenings will be okay.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. That's,
But, and relatively quick, if we figure 2 to 3 months is kind of, you know, I'm thinking 3 months in my head, so if it
Keep
finishes
thinking
before
that.
that, you
Yeah.
know, then it's good, so.
Yeah.
And again, you know, hopefully people understand that, you know, we're doing it to improve the building and to, you know, as I've said a zillion times, this is a building the community has said that we're in, and so let's take care of it, so.
Well, thank you, Jason, for coming and for talking us
Thanks
through
for having me.
everything.
Yeah, sorry if I talked too much about
No,
it.
not at all.
Yeah, no, it's a nice project. Yeah, the masonry restoration's a lot of just,
Yeah.
here's the area, and then we tell them a certain amount of, based on, just a visual assessment, we just tell them, here, assume this, assume this, assume this, for quantities, and then once we actually evaluate them, we'll kind of pinpoint those things down as they go around the building, but it'll be, yeah, nice project, I'm happy with the contractors we got, so. It's a win-win, I think, under budget or to the other alternates, so I think it's a win.
Yeah,
So,
great.
perfect. Sounds
I mean,
good.
you're more than welcome to sit here with us, you
I
know.
might, you might see me over
You know,
there.
yeah, I mean, enjoy the last of this nice evening, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's supposed to rain tomorrow, isn't it?
I know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thanks for your time, I
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Thank you for,
All right.
I think fumbling recovery on. All right.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
All right, have a good
Good
night,
night.
take care. All right, so, next up, I will make a motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes from April 13th, 2023.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions, corrections?
tell me if I'm wrong, but did we have it in the back here last month, or do we have it downstairs, the meeting?
We had it in the activity room.
Good catch.
Oh, yeah, we'll change that, it says it on the top.
Okay, because sometimes I don't know
Yep,
where I am.
We'll change that, if you want to amend the motion as revised, and you can sign the last
Okay.
page and for the official ones, we'll change it.
Got it. So approve those minutes as revised.
Adding it. Okay, all those in favor of approving the April minutes as revised, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, President's report, you see actually, a few things, so, there is a list of, upcoming important dates that, I asked Pam to kind of put together, so everyone can kind of take a look at what was coming up. So, that was did we agree, was it the last meeting we talked about, the first decennial committee meeting, I think so?
We did.
So, again, the members of that committee are us, Suzanne has agreed to join us, as well as Frank Tennant. So, that is our first meeting where we need to have as many trustees present as possible. It also will be presentation of the 2022 audit. As of now, we're planning on participating in the July 4th parade, so that's July. Nothing else big on the July board meeting. But then August, if you look at the August board meeting, that would be the first strategic planning meeting that is potentially, proposed. So that's something I wanted to at least bring to everyone's attention. I know a lot of us have families. I know that that August meeting is right before school starts, so I wanted everyone to at least be aware of that. If that is a strategic planning meeting, we want as many trustees as possible as part of this process. I get it, everyone's busy and everyone has a life, definitely, but there, I think it's either been the July or August meeting that we've had a history of maybe just canceling. So if you don't think that you will be at the August meeting, like, this is kind of the discussion that I wanted to at least, you know, bring up and,
How long is the parent orientation for Niles West generally? Do you know? 'Cause that's at 6 p.m. that night.
orientation. Yeah, I didn't, see, I don't have that on my calendar yet. I'm not sure, is that the only thing on your calendar?
Yes, I'll be out of town, but I come back the 9th, so I'm good for the 10th.
Okay,
But I have that I would like to go to.
yeah. I would think it would probably be at least an hour or
That's right.
something, yeah. No, it's a good catch, I didn't even, you know, you're way ahead of me, so.
We can ask Amanda and or her team, I think it will be Amanda that will be here for that, to start that later in the meeting.
Okay.
If, you know,
Yeah, I'll definitely be here, it's just I'm probably a little late.
yeah, or we could even start the meeting at 7:30 that day if the board all agreed to do something like that, if that.
Okay, so let's, why don't I do it this way, let me, and Jason should be able to help me with
Finding out the answer to your question.
finding out the answer of what time that goes until, but we both have incoming freshmen, so, I will be in touch with you, and so if we need to just move back that meeting time, everyone else seems in town for August?
August 10th is it would be the night of the regular board meeting.
Yeah, okay. And, you know, and I just, because there's, you know, some upcoming dates, there's several different things that, you know, that we have kind of going around, the decennial committee, the strategic planning, just kind of wanted to have everybody.
Do you have a note that I won't be here for the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
You're gonna miss the first December.
I know.
I wish we could all miss that.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
I know, no, we're all super excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you're the only one that I've,
Okay,
Is
so
that
make sure
aware?
you do that.
yeah, I don't think I'm aware of anyone else missing June. So if anything comes up, please let me, or Pam know, but again, everyone busy with their families and everything, just wanted everyone to kind of have those dates, so.
That's helpful, thank you.
Yeah, and especially, and just the summer meeting attendance quorums is just, you know, being mindful of, because of those, again, the decennial committee, the strategic planning, you know, we need to make sure that we have a quorum at those meetings, so just, you know, please just let us know if anything comes up, so. Did I forget anything?
No.
Okay.
June
Okay.
8th meeting, is that still at 6:15?
Yeah,
The
'cause-
Decennial Committee?
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yes,
Just wanted to make sure.
and we'll send, you know.
Yeah, because that'll be
reminder.
a separate agenda and stuff, so I'll work with Emily on setting up that agenda. Because
That's fine.
that's actually a separate thing, so I'll send that out, because it has to follow all the same Open Meetings Act rules, so.
So it'll be a separate, you know, meeting, same date. We'll open them, we'll have our discussion, we'll close that, we'll start our regular board meeting, so. Okay, so we're moving on to, committee reports, so we have, finance.
I'll make a motion to approve the financial reports for April 2023.
I'll second.
Any questions on general ledger? Nothing. Check register. Check number 7, I think this is the one, 7447 Wintrust First National Bank of Omaha, is it?
That's
Is it the last, second to last?
That's the credit
What's
card.
the
Credit card?
The credit
The
card?
Wintrust
Okay.
credit card.
That's why I always get confused because you're
It's come up a few times.
Wintrust, but you're paying it the,
Yeah,
Peekaboo.
yeah, that's because we changed our credit cards when we changed banks
So
as
we'll
well.
see that a lot coming forward.
Right, so, and this one's particularly high because they start ordering stuff for summer reading and that kind of thing,
Mhm.
so.
No, the first time you see that, I'm like, First National Bank of Omaha.
Omaha.
And then I'm like, oh, Wintrust. So I was like, yeah.
That explains it a little credit card.
and the, income statement, let's see, where are we here?
Kind of donations, 1,500 this month, anything noteworthy from particulars?
We have gotten a couple of bigger donations for summer reading.
Oh, okay, that's what that goes into, got it.
Hmm.
Karina's done a really nice job of reaching out and making some connections, and so we've gotten some nice donations this year.
Is that different than previous years?
We've gotten a couple more this year than we have in previous years, so I feel like, you know, I mean, she had started it when he was still here as well, but so I think, you know, we're kind of building on
Yeah,
that, so it's been really nice, yeah.
No more? Everybody okay? Okay.
Okay, we'll vote on the reports for April. We'll leave off with you, Mesa Jack,
Yes.
Pelletier, yes, Rizzo,
Yes.
Flores,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Jost. Yes. Thank you.
All right, facilities, well, Jason kind of took that for us today. Policy, there are a few ones that we will review, a little bit later under new business. So staff reports, have to just first say best of luck to Helga, we will miss her, we wish her the best.
I do have one other employee departure to announce as well. Sarah Mitchell-Mace downstairs is leaving us. Really sad for us, but awesome for her. She's taking the Youth Services Department Head position at Lincolnwood.
Oh, good for
Yeah,
her.
so
Good
we're,
luck to her over
yeah,
there.
so we're really
Yeah,
excited
yeah,
for her.
it's
It's
a-
a great
that's a
opportunity
little
and,
thing.
but it, you know, it's sad for us, but
Oh,
yeah.
we
So
will miss
her-
her.
Her last day will be the end of May, so.
Well, please tell her thank you and wish her the best for us.
So,
Yeah, that's sad for us, but, but yeah, that's very well deserved.
yeah, she'll be great, so. And then I just had a couple other things, is that?
Of course, yeah, please.
Just a couple of corrections to my report, I'm actually reading it over. I had, mentioned something about the employee handbook. Special thanks to Suzanne for sure, for, her assistance with that. It absolutely would not have gotten done without her help. But I said that hard copy of the newly revised employee handbook is taking place during the month of, the beginning of May, and it was distribution of the handbook, so that took place. And then, talking about strategic planning, and I'm sorry to the board, the strategic plan planning team has representation from the board, administration, AS, marketing, and YS. So Lima has agreed to sit on the planning team for the strategic plan. Our first meeting, and I was gonna say.
Couldn't
just
pick a
like
better one.
But,
Thank you.
yes, so I think, so anyway, I just wanted to make those two corrections to my
Thank you.
report. My apologies for not catching those before I sent it out. And that was the only things I had to add. Does anyone have any questions about anything that was?
Well, please welcome Robert and Mary Ann for us.
Yeah, so they'll be starting, Melissa's actually on vacation for the next couple of weeks, and so they'll be starting when she returns from her vacation. So.
I'd also love to give a shout out to Bettina, was it Bettina and Sarah that worked on the self-care kits? Is that, was it Bettina?
Nate Miller.
Oh, Nate,
Yeah, from Adult Services.
oh, okay. Oh, it said Bettina and Sarah.
Bettina did the marketing. and-
Oh, the marketing
The
for
marketing,
it.
yeah.
And then they did the, you know,
Pulling
it was
them
just so,
together and stuff,
so
yeah.
thoughtfully put together,
Yeah.
and I think, you know, so,
Yeah, they went really quickly.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just thought that was just a really,
Yeah.
a really nice thing that,
Yeah.
I'm just really enjoying the reels they're putting out too.
Yeah.
I just
yeah.
remember watching them before. So fun.
No, I love our social media, I mean, it's so cute, so.
It's been nice having someone that can focus only on that. I mean, having Jan here to do
Yeah.
that has really made a difference. I mean, in our numbers, you know, they're going up every month and stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, just in general, those are going up, and she's so creative and everything, so I think that's great. It's a really, really good hire and a good kind of readjustment of the organization a little bit, you know, creating that position. But then also, our regular statistics are going up, and I feel like, just anecdotally, a number of people have said to me that it feels like we're finally getting back to normal, like the numbers of people in the building and that kind of thing, and it's actually been reflected in the statistics as well. I'm seeing that, so I'm really happy about that.
I was updating my records from previous meetings, and I pulled the stats
Mm.
sheets going back. Yeah, you definitely see that.
Yeah.
We're-
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah, hopefully, I keep meaning to like pull together some graphs and stuff like that, but of course it always gets away from me, so I will get to that someday, but yeah, I mean, and just like I said, just the kind of feel in the building, it feels more quote unquote normal, if you will.
Yeah.
So.
I came at opening one time, there's like people waiting to get in the door, and I was like, man, I was like eager, but like, there was people waiting for me, so.
Yeah.
To get that mini taken, the mini.
Oh,
they could take
the
my
library, the little
cute.
library thing?
So
Oh,
that
yeah.
was
It was
great
adorable,
idea.
it was
Yeah.
great. I was
Yeah,
excited to
those
do
were
that.
Brenda's idea. They're super, super cute.
Yeah,
People were lining up for them.
yeah, yeah. Alright, any other questions for Pam? All right, so,
I know you were talking about this, but I just.
yeah, unfinished business, so the Decennial Committee's, Local Government Efficiency Act, so our first meeting will be, next month. You know, same date as our board meeting, right before, most likely in here, if the location
Yeah,
has
I
changed,
believe
we'll,
so.
you know.
It'll be either here or downstairs, so.
Yeah, yeah. Any other update with that specifically?
No. The strategic plan, just, as I said, we do have representation, I think, from every department and the board as well. We don't have someone from CERC, but,
Okay.
that is not a surprise, given just the staffing and stuff like that. So, and with Jeff taking over some of Helga's stuff, you know, didn't want to spread him any thinner. And then the first meeting of the planning team will be via Zoom, and right now that's scheduled for May 23rd.
I
So-
do have a question regarding is her name Amanda?
Amanda?
She sent the communication out, and if you try to respond yes to the meeting, it takes you to a calendar, and you have to start using like Google Calendar or something.
I think she puts it on, it goes directly on her calendar, or she's probably got a shared calendar that she's using for that.
But it was like asking me to sign into it, and I didn't wanna do that. Is there
Okay.
another way to?
Let me look at that, Lima, again, and if I can't figure it out, I'll just, I mean, if that's okay with you, I will just let her know that that's okay with you, but I'll take a look
Or,
at that
you know,
again.
I could just email her or whatever, but I noticed it said no one else had responded either, so I didn't know if I was not reading it right,
Okay,
or.
let me take a look at that, because I didn't run into that problem, but let me see.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Maybe because I don't use it normally. It's an issue.
Is that date okay for you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me take a look at that, and then, I'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, next up, new business, so, first up, everyone should have a copy of, resolution number 2023-01, resolution to adopt a non-resident library fee. Any background that you wanted to?
We do
give us
this
or-
every year.
Yeah.
Mark, I don't know if you were here the last time we did this, if you.
Believe I was.
So we just adopt this every year. The only thing that does change, because there are two ways that you can set a non-resident fee. You can do like an average, and you just say, oh, someone has to pay X number of dollars, or you can actually use a tax, we're using a mathematical average basically, so we're looking at, I can't remember the formula that we use, but anyway, so it does change, the amount that it costs for a non-resident card fee does change from year to year. So you would, when we make the motion, you'll have to say the amount, which is the 371.
Got it.
So, but nothing else has changed, like I said, it's just the dollar amount changes every year, and
We're just motioning to approve this.
right, yeah,
I'll motion to approve.
yeah.
All right, so Mark, did you get a motion?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It would be the resolution to adopt the non-resident library fee in the amount of
yeah.
371.03 per household.
Yeah. Put me for a second.
Pelletier, yes. Puzo,
Yes.
Flores,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Jost,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes. Okay, so Mohammed just walked in, so,
So you need to
hello.
indicate what time it's done.
Nice to see you. So so we're making note when you walked in, and then what we are going to do is swear you in, so then you can officially vote on everything else on the agenda.
Sounds good.
So, so Suzanne is our notary, and she's going to walk you through your,
I've got the page. I,
I,
Muhammad Azam Hussein,
Mohammed Azam Hussein,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the rules,
the rules,
regulations, and ordinances
regulations, and ordinances
of the Village of Morton Grove,
of the Village of Morton Grove,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
all the duties of the office
all the duties of the office
of Morton Grove Public Library Trustee
of Morton Grove Public Library Trustee
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
that was the best one.
I told you it was. And I just need you to sign that. And so return it to Suzanne.
Well done. Very.
So, okay. So, all right, we will move on. So review revision of director evaluation form. So Pam did send us that via email. Did everyone receive that?
I've only heard from 2 people, so that's why I just wanted to include it and just remind you that if you had particular questions or concerns about the review form, to let me know those so that I can then disseminate them to the whole board, because I know this is
Were
something.
you also gonna send us like a couple maybe?
Yeah, and I've only received a couple so far, so I was waiting to see if I got some more, so I could send them to you all at once rather than
Got it,
a bunch of
okay.
different emails, but I will send out the couple that I do have so far. But like, again, just any questions, or like I said in my email, if there's things that you want to see that are not being addressed in the form, or the things that aren't applicable any longer, or kind of things, so like I just want to include that in my.
Thank you, yes. Next up, we have the policies that are up for review and approval. So does someone on the policy committee wanna take reins? Yeah?
There wasn't many changes on the 5 policies. I think the most change was the children in the library policy, and that was just removing the amendment that we did during COVID. But everything else was just very, very minor.
The lost and damaged policy, that probably had, there were no real substantive changes, but the first section, Jeff and I fleshed out a little bit more so that it more accurately reflected what happens when there's lost materials.
Are we doing one motion to approve all purposes?
You can, yeah.
I'll motion.
But you have to list out.
List the policies.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna motion then. I think that's.
Did anyone have any questions before we make a motion?
Go for it.
I'll make a motion to approve the following policies: children in the library, credit card, patron privacy, public services, and lost and damaged materials.
Those are animals, so they can.
Policy, I thought it was every single change.
No, no.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't clear, just.
Yeah, I was like,
I have to list the names of the policies,
You can
sorry.
second it.
I'll second it.
Mark, there you go.
Eagerly,
Still a
eagerly
part of it.
second it.
Still a
Eagerly
part of it.
second it.
Thank you.
Pretty hard.
Okay. Puzo?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Hussein?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Mexico?
Yeah.
Pelletier, yes.
All right, so we're done with that communications. We got some really nice cards.
I always love handwritten
I
cards.
do too.
She's written one before.
She
Yeah,
has.
I think it's something.
And just, yeah, just really, really kind of to take the time to do that, so. And then everyone, I hope also got a copy of, it's a proposed amendment from the Secretary of State, First the Nation legislation to prevent book bans. Love that. So, thank you for including that.
So
Yeah.
cool to see it, you're reading through the
It's
entire
on-
packet, and then you read this and you're like, yes.
It's on the
Yeah.
governor's
Someone came
desk
up with
right
a-
now, it is expected that
That's
he will
awesome.
sign it.
Crazy.
We probably, so once it is signed, as I said, it is anticipated that Governor Pritzker will sign this legislation. Once it is signed, then the Rules Committee will look at, kind of guidelines for libraries and what that means. I want to reassure the board that we already follow the ALA Bill of Rights, and, we have a process in place for reconsideration of materials that, we stick to pretty, religiously, and it's worked really well for us, so I don't anticipate that we would have to change any of our procedures in order to comply with this new law. So, but it's something obviously that a lot of libraries and librarians are paying attention to, but I did want to bring it to the board's the full board's attention, just in case it's not something that's kind of top of mind for you guys in the same way that it is for us.
I actually brought my packet while I was renewing my license at the DMV this week, and so I was sitting at the DMV, you're already like, yeah, I'm DMV, next to DMV, and then I was like, first I was like, wait, did I mix my paper, and then I was like, that was first, and then I was like, oh, well, yeah, okay, you know what I mean, like, at first I was like, yeah, but then I'm like,
Secretary of State is the
Yeah.
state librarian, yeah, it's,
yeah.
it's kind of strange that it's not Jesse White anymore, quite frankly.
It really
Yeah.
It's been so long.
It's so weird, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to pass that on and reassure the board that it shouldn't have any substantive effect on our procedures or the policies that we have in place, because we already do those things, so.
Great. So, public comments, non-agenda items, it is still just us, and well, we covered quite a bit, and it's 8:07,